we get a small seed money and then probably just get on with it. And then once we have the bigger client, then probably we can increase the valuation like in multiples and then again get a rise.
What is the certainty of getting this client?
This certainty, I think it may take, like I said, in this current times, it's a bit of a, I would say in the next 2 months for sure before summer. And certainty, I would say, is that for sure we're talking to 4 different people at HSBC, all are director level people who have got budgets and who've seen the product, have expressed interest. And obviously, I may not say for certain that it will be yes tomorrow or maybe in 2 weeks time, but at least in 8 weeks time, we're expecting at least to start some kind of POC work, at least a 50,000 to 100,000 pounds. So that is what we are confident about. And yeah.
Yeah, seed round, you already identified somebody because
yes,
it is a seed fund.
Yeah.
If such client is already paying, then they take you more seriously. If they are seed round investors are only HNIs, some rich fellows and all, they also a little bit value more if it is you build a story. I started off with a big client, now it is one that is this, many others will come. See, the good thing about getting a big client is you will satisfy people that I can acquire many small clients because I won the big client.
Yeah.
And also with this, I can also target many other big clients.
Correct.
So that's the way you can say.
Yes.
So
in terms of your question, I think you're right. I think we have identified few investors. I think our initial seed money was 250,000 pounds on a valuation of, I think we are between, we did like different methods of valuation, like, VC methods and different things. It's coming around 4 million minimum to 5 million, 5 million, kind of, that is kind of, figure we're looking at based on some, due diligence done by the lawyer and also the comparables in the UK market. Based on whatever it is, but some people said obviously it may be a little bit higher. Some people say it's okay lower. At the end of the day, it's not like a definitive one formula for the valuation, right?
Now for without revenues, 4 million pounds is a very good valuation in my view.
Okay.
Because there are no revenues and a lot to be proven yet now.
Okay.
See, what happens initial rounds will go, you get diluted. Later rounds you recoup based on how much you cover.
Correct. So that on that note, I think we were kind of even at the minimum. If you look at 4,250,000, we wanted to rise, and on that note, we have already 150,000 kind of from few investors. One of them actually is my advisor, who actually is advising the business.
Then, for getting that valuation, you take the money.
Okay.
3 rounds, and then after your 2 months time, once you win, always next round you can price it more.
Okay. So it doesn't really affect much, obviously, between this round and next round. If you have substantial, one customer coming in. Sorry, just got connection. I think you're right that between this round and also next round, if there is any substantial client win or something, we can definitely boost our valuation to next round as well, right? We can raise a seed later.
No, what I'm telling you, valuation is not a linear curve, and sometimes suppose you raise this money and later. If you win the big clients, you can always price it better later.
Yeah.
So that is okay. No, there's no one way of doing it. Right?
Correct. If you ask me honestly, I think, for us to develop a substantial team, I think especially in the London market, right? Basically, at least, for us to develop in a good AI, like, people, good AI data scientists. And currently we have a team of 5 or 6 people, all are very qualified, at least 100,000 per year kind of figures, right? Because considering their experience, and things like that. I'm not paying them full salaries, and also I'm paying them very small retainer on except the one technical lead. And so obviously the 250K is not sufficient even to cover their salaries. Ideally, I would be in a position to scale up to 1 or 2 million, a proper kind of first level team, and obviously support team to kind of sustainable for the next 18 months to 24 months runway. But it's also a little bit like you said, too early to rise that. And I just wanted to see what is the minimum I need, which is what, around 250 to 300,000. At least that way I can able to leverage in the next 6 months, something like that.
No, what I'm telling you, you take this money at this valuation.
Okay.
Well, this is a good valuation, no problem. And see, in the beginning, you can't do everything perfectly. So once you get, see, what is happening is, it is like a, when you're rolling, you roll fast, no problem. So once you start winning clients, and you'll add some more clients, at that time we can increase the valuation. So now you make a beginning and move on. Don't wait for the. So there is nothing like perfect way of doing, right?
Okay. So even though I give like 5% of the company, it's okay for that small.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Because
generally it doesn't matter. 5% is nothing in the valuation of the company. Don't worry.
Because eventually it will be the next rounds also coming in. Eventually it will go 10, 15, and
you remember one thing in the end, it is not stake which is important.
The value, right? Yeah.
Value of the stake which is important.
Correct. Yeah, it's 1% of $1 billion company is better than 100% of $1 million.
That is not growing the pie, they call it.
Yeah.
Growing the pie. You have to grow the pie. You'll do that later.
Yeah. I mean, just out of curiosity, why these companies based out of Silicon Valley or something, they're just even have very too high valuations, right? Without having any MVP, just because someone is coming from, from this big college or, something like that, or maybe without having an exit. Is it, what matters? Is it like just sometimes when I see it, it's too much of hype and kind of high valuations all the way from, we've seen movie work.
No, Silicon Valley works on a different thing. They have startups coming from Stanford, and they work on a different kind of, it is a club, it is a, see, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, now that's what it is. They like it and they pay it, and they also know how to scale it to the next level.
Like high value, yeah, okay.
And also there will be some IP and something will be there,
So basically, it's just like, I mean, when you compare that.
Most of the IP companies are this AI companies are mostly started by PhDs.
Yeah.
Because it needs little advanced
intellectual property and something like that. Yeah.
Mostly PhDs will be there.
Yeah.
And their professor, their lab. The kind of advisory setup, the kind of mentors, they are the front end of the cutting edge.
Yeah.
So, they're the real fellows. So Silicon Valley, there's no comparison. That is the place where most of the discoveries happen.
Yeah. And especially, I think some of the companies, when I compare it, I think, when I see them, they're just absolutely similar what other company is doing. And I mean, some of the young students, but obviously, just because they're out of there, the timing and also difference, right?
Yeah.
I think that makes sense, actually. They view things differently, and also the initial, the right investor partner would make a big difference, right? And they can scale up and things like that. And that is one also my view is to expand sometime to the US for sure, but very soon, because obviously now we have 2 people working from the US, One of them is actually a PhD in AI. Actually, he's working remotely for me, and he's done fantastic work in one of the University of Connecticut in the East Coast, on NSF funding project. Obviously that kind of area. So it makes sense for us to develop an office or something in the US, so that at least I can start having those people full time or something like that, and eventually have a head office or something in the US, because it gets more visibility and also more traction, right? Either in the West Coast or something like that.
Yeah.
And of course, London is good, but it's not obviously where we are right now is good because of the language English, and also because after Silicon Valley, London is also recognized equally well in technologies in AI and blockchain and stuff. And of course, organically, this is also what I'm something thinking about, especially people are working out there, and it's better to have some local presence, and it makes more difference, right? If you have a US entity and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think a lot of interesting things are happening. So maybe I need to show it to you some stage, maybe kind of some advisory capacity. And one challenge I've been facing is, Uncle, that a lot of people do come, and especially you've seen this, I think, many times, right? People say a lot of things, and when it comes to action, people do a lot of promises. Like, I've gone through a few people that, I know this, I can do this. When it comes to reality, they don't really perform very well, right?
Yeah.
And everyone want to have a quick buck. Basically, I want to have something. What I've learned from other people is that not to give away straight equity straight away, rather than giving a rolling kind of advisory or retainer. So at least wait for 3-6 months. If this guy really turns up to be good, then you can give away like every month, maybe something like that. Like not too much, because if I give something very quickly, option is they won't perform right, or maybe perhaps they won't see the same commitment the next 2 years. Yes.
You're talking about advisory board or what?
Yeah, so currently what I have done is that I haven't formally set up an advisory board. I have 3 kind of senior members, like, obviously around 50 or 55, both have done equally very well in their careers. And I'm not putting them as a director or non-executive directors for now, but however, they're acting as an advisors, and they have a performance milestones. An example, they can help me in branding, marketing, strategy, sales, and a lot of things like that. And one other person advised me to say is that, start with them 1% equity for now, based on the work they do, and then also next 3 years they might get every year 1%, something like that, 3% or something like that. That's the maximum you can give for those people, because if you give away too much in the beginning and you get a lot of people in the future, and then you just it's not works like that way. And that's how I'm kind of planning for these people right now. These 2 advisors came on board. Kind of advisory agreements I have in place, kind of to formalize them, and eventually they will act as that capacity, like you mentioned, board of advisors and stuff. Not formalized yet, but they're kind of working in that indirect capacity, not like a full time or anything like that. Do you think that makes sense to have a board of directors and kind of advisory board formalized?
No. What is important is seed money. Once you get the clients, then you can build all the protocol.
For now, I think I can just call them as.
People do all that to raise money. See, it is like, egg is first or chicken is first kind of story. What I'm trying to say, you need to raise seed money. For that, people say, I'm so and so, my board is so and so, my fellow so and so, like that, they count down.
I got it. Okay.
You can bring seed money first without all this baggage. You raise seed money. Okay.
Yeah.
After that, you get to win these big customers. After that, you can bring great fellows in the advisory committee and go to a proper VC and raise serious money.
Got it.
So we'll do all that. My suggestion is first you show the client, paying. So after that, everything will start falling in line.
Okay.
So they should be paying clients. There should be, and for raising the product to some level, you need some seed money, and somebody is giving you. You just take it. Don't worry too much about the valuation now.
Okay.
that you can recoup or recover later.
Okay, I agree with you. So basically, start with something so that at least I can start paying people so that they can retain in the business without having to worry of losing them after working with them.
Yeah.
And then eventually, the priority always has to be the revenue, right? Customer revenue. And then you can show the multiples of Fiverr.
Paying customers, you should be able to show small orders, big orders, doesn't matter. Even a pilot somebody gives also, it is a validation.
Right, exactly. Okay, when someone is using the product, that actually easy and okay, got it.
Using the product, paying the customer, running the pilot, and various fellows. That's what the funnel you have to show.
Correct. Yeah, something is coming, and obviously it's getting bigger. I understand. So that if you make that very well, I think at the end of the day, the real value is the revenue. Correct. And then you can ask for 5 valuation to 10x valuation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Fantastic. That's, I think, a lot of things are going on. Obviously, this is where I wanted to speak to you before, and obviously now that
so we'll catch up again, Ganesh. I'm actually
sure.
waiting to the next call.
Oh, sorry. Sure.
No problem. And so we'll keep getting in touch once in a while.
Sure, Uncle. Uncle, if you're free up on the weekend on Friday or Saturday, I would like to show you something on the computer. Maybe I'll go through with you a few things and probably.
You buzz me if I'm free. I'll take it up.
So whichever day works for you on Friday or Saturday, something like that, whenever it's after work, and then we can arrange.
Friday will not work.
Okay.
So Saturday will.
Saturday, okay, Uncle. Okay, no problem, Uncle. Thank you very much. Bye.